Recently, I've been seeing a lot of conversation around Hobby Lobby carrying 3D printing supplies. So I thought today was a good day to test out if Hobby Lobby supplies are any good. So hang out with me for a while. We're gonna run over to my local Hobby Lobby and see if they even carry 3D printing supplies. And if they do, we'll buy what we can buy, come back, test it out, and see what it really is. Let's make our way to Hobby Lobby. Yeah. Here it goes right here, buddy. This is it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I want this. It's the tank. I showed it to mommy.
All right, let's roll out, buddy. Oh, that might be a little heavy. Try this one. That's your gun. All right, guys, we are back from Hobby Lobby and we had a successful trip. My Hobby Lobby did carry 3D printing supplies. We picked up a few things, including this deburring tool set for $9.99, which maybe not the best deal. You could pick up one of these on Amazon for probably $6-7. We also picked up these needle files for $4.99 for a set of 10, which I thought was a pretty good deal. 10 files for $4.50. You really can't go wrong there. And one of the things I was most hopeful they carried was this 3D printing mat for $18.99. The cleaning instructions say clean only with water. Do not use alcohol or chemical cleaners, as these may damage the mat's coating. I use a lot of alcohol. We'll avoid that, but I can't promise we won't use Dawn dish soap because cleaning only with water doesn't really sit right with me. So we'll see how it holds up. It appears to be a smooth plate. For $18.99, I'd probably stick with my Glacier plate. But a lot of times Hobby Lobby has a 40% off coupon. So if you just need a new mat, you want to pick it up today, you can get a hold of that 40% off one item. Wouldn't make this a bad price. We'll see how that does. Probably the most surprising thing about their 3D supplies were the filaments. They actually had a decent selection. PLA basic filaments, my favorite PLA matte. They had some PLA silk filaments. They had PLA wood. They had TPU. The only thing that I was hopeful they would have that they didn't was they didn't have any PETG. So I don't know if that's my local Hobby Lobby not having it in stock or they just don't carry PETG, but we kept it relatively simple. Let's see what we got here. We bought this PLA marble for $20.99, which I thought was kind of expensive, but all in the name of science, we went ahead and bought it. We also got this PLA matte gray for $17.99. Last but not least, a PLA matte black, also for $17.99. I use a lot of matte black, so we will be testing this stuff out against some of the other Bamboo Lab filaments I got, the Glacier plate, and we'll see how it goes. Let's get into it. All right, guys, it's the next day, and I've had plenty opportunity to print multiple items using Hobby Lobby's filaments. So let's hop right in and check out the results. And just as a side note, Hobby Lobby's filaments came really well packaged, comparable to Bamboo Labs. The spools are a nice high quality plastic. The only downside is they're not reusable. First, I printed the obligatory benchy using Bamboo's gray filament, and it did a solid job. As you can see here, nothing much to talk about. It did what I expected it to do. I then printed a benchy using Hobby Lobby's matte gray, and it did a solid job as well. If you look very closely, you could see some very minor stringing, but overall, I was very happy with this print. I then printed this small gorilla, also using Hobby Lobby's matte gray, and I thought it did an amazing job. Honestly, I can't see any layer lines whatsoever. The detail, it just did great. The only kind of flaws on it is where the support's connected, but I didn't use any type of support interface, but that's not what this test was about. Very happy with the quality on the Gorilla. And lastly, I printed this little cyberpunk comb. And again, there's absolutely nothing to complain about. It did a great job. Very happy with Hobby Lobby's matte gray. So next up, let's talk about Hobby Lobby's PLA marble. So first I printed this soap dish, and this is Bamboo Labs gray. It did a great job as expected. Very minimal layer lines, and I was very happy with this print. I then followed that up printing the same soap dish using Hobby Lobby's PLA marble. And again, it did a very solid job. But if you look closely, there is again some minor stringing going on. And at this point, I wondered if maybe the filament needed to be dried a little bit. It was well packaged, but I did dry it just a couple of hours, and I probably could have dried it a little bit longer, but I was eager to get back to printing. But overall, I was happy with the way that it printed the soap dish. Next, my daughter asked me to print her this little teacup set. So this is one of the teacups. This is printed using a hot pink from Bamboo Lab. And then I also printed that same teacup using Hobby Lobby's PLA marble. It did a really good job. And outside of some very minor stringing, it was much better. So, you know, maybe a couple more hours of drying and it would be good to go. But it did a great job. Can't really complain there. And then I just printed a couple of these little hooks in Hobby Lobby's PLA marble. And these were great print, solid, nothing to complain about whatsoever. And lastly, let's talk about Hobby Lobby's matte black. So first I printed this tilting Scadis box, and this is Bamboo Labs matte charcoal. Again, as expected, it did a really good job. And then I printed that same Scadis box using Hobby Lobby's matte black. And honestly, I think it might have did a better job. The layer lines are less noticeable. And just overall, I just really like the look. I mean, it's very close, but the matte black did really well. I then moved on to printing this Gridfinity little tray. And this is Bamboo Labs matte charcoal. And then I printed this Gridfinity tray for the deburring tool using Hobby Lobby's matte black. And again, it did a great job, just as good as Bamboo Labs. Last but not least, I printed this little desktop organizer for my wife. She asked me to print this, and the detail on here, I mean, this is straight Hobby Lobby matte black. It did amazing job printing this. I was very, very pleased with this. All right, guys, let's talk about the smooth plate, which was my favorite purchase in this little haul from Hobby Lobby. The plate just did amazing. Items adhered really well to it, but they also released really well. And I would rank this right up there with my Glacier plate. The fact that it's black doesn't hurt. I like that. I've already told myself I'm gonna go back and pick me up at least another one of these plates. Overall, this was a very successful experience. So if you've been straddling the fence about whether you want to give Hobby Lobby a try or not, hop off the porch, run down to your local Hobby Lobby, and you won't be disappointed. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. And if you like content like this, go ahead, lock me in. I have videos coming up testing different types of materials and nozzles and etc. and etc. Hang around for a while, and I'll check you guys out in the next one.